First and foremost, welcome back. It's been a while since I've last done a video. I said I was gonna hold strong and not do another update until we hit our final bottom. But just to summarize really quick, the last update we did, how long ago was it? 2-3 weeks ago? Maybe it was even a month ago, I don't know. I feel like it's been a while, but the key takeaways from the last video were that we were in the middle of a wave 4, right? Which was denoted by the 3 swing up from here, and there were one of two possible outcomes. Either we make a run and we extend for at least 31 plus before turning down to 22, or we just dump right to 22. And well, today, right, we got something, we finally got a move, and let's just look at the daily candle right now. And this is indicative of, you know, trend change. Right, massive upswing. We came up, and our low today was actually the gap fill from Friday, and I had a level there as well. So, but let's just touch on, you know, what this means moving forward. I actually came from work, so I don't even need to get dressed up for this. This is just how I get to look. First and foremost, as always, if you would like to trade with us, we've been having a great time. Our boy James fucking called this one out today. I don't even know how. Like, I don't know what or how it works, but he called it, and you know, people are making bank. So if you want to trade with a great community of traders, shoot me a message, or you can sign up at the link below. I believe this sale is still running for Halloween, so if you're interested, shoot me a message on Twitter. I'll give you the code. But let's dive into it. So I just ran a stream more or less detailing what happened, but for you guys, I'll do another one. It's gonna be more or less a breakdown of the wave structure and the levels a little bit, but more importantly, we're not focusing on how to trade it in this video. We're focusing on, you know, what's likely gonna happen in the weeks moving forward, if that makes sense. So you can see on screen here what I think is happening, and if you pay really close attention to levels I call out, because they are very important, right? I said I would only cave to being full-blown bullish if we break above 38.83-ish, somewhere in that area. And we didn't quite get there today. And the reason why that's the make or break for me to be bearish is because this was the wave 1 of our C leg of the flat. Now remember, the flat is gonna be ABC into A, ABC into B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into C. And it's an expanding flat, meaning that each leg gets progressively bigger than the previous, which is, you know, it's a very good representation actually of what's going on right now. This whole downswing has been so elongated and it's taken such a long time to really make its way down that it makes sense to, you know, hold our assertions that we're not quite bullish yet. Not quite, you know, we're pretty close. God, I need a fucking haircut, but we're almost there. We're not quite there, but we're close. Whenever it moves, God, what is going on here? Whenever it has, you know, really crazy moves in the morning like this, I can't help but think of November 2021. I can't help it, right? It gives off the exact same energy. We have a huge move up in the morning and all of the gains are erased, just like that. And you'll notice that every time that's happened on here, this is like the first one I can think of. I think there was another one back in June, if I go back that far, right? Same thing here. So every time that's happened in the morning, you know, trend turns down. And in this instance, we've been expecting it to move up to this area and subsequently turn down. And I believe that's what's going on right now. And so this strong of a sell candle down from hitting the high implies that we're gonna see something along the lines of this moving forward. This would be most probable, and I say that just because of the rejection today and the fact that this came up in 3 swings and not 5. If this moved up to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I would be extremely bullish. But because it didn't, this implies it's part of a big correction, and wave 4 is always when you see your super elongated periods of, you know, sideways nothing. So the fact that we finally broke out after fucking almost 2 months of sitting in this channel, wedge, triangle, whatever you want to call it, to my shape guys, you know, finally breaking out of it today implies that the 4 is done and that we're finally turning down for a 5th leg. And so now for the part that everyone wants, we're gonna be going over targets, and I actually just did this, but just so you guys get an idea of what it is as well. Let's clear everything. And let's just go from the top. So what you have done here are your gap levels, are the unfilled gaps that are marked. The 2 lower ones are filled. at 19.5 and 18.88. But the current open gaps right now, or I guess there's another one here too. Let's mark that as well. Right, we have a gap here. We came down and got this one today, and that's where we're turning now. But we have one at 25.93, 24.71, and then the fabled 22.29, which is where I believe we turned. You know, it can come lower. It can come to like 19.5-ish. I don't think it does, but it's very possible. So just be wary of that. But let's draw fib targets now. So 3 ways to do this. We can measure the length of A, or we need to go to an hourly. We can measure the length of A, project it up to the top of B, right? And I just drew this on here so you guys can see what the structure is without having to think too hard, you know. But we can measure it like this, where we go from the top of A to the bottom of A to the top of B. And remember, it's only deemed complete once we break below this level here, which we did. But if we look on a daily chart, it's very hard to look at this and not think 1, 2, 3, 4. And I say that because, you know, 4 is, like I've said, your sideways consolidation flat period before some sort of break. And it's very hard to see any of that in this whole move to the downside, right? So I think that what we just had was actually the wave 4, and we're putting in the 5th leg now. And so, right, one potential target is this double overlap here with the 2618 extension at, you know, more or less right around 22 on the nose. There's 2 other ways we can draw targets. We can also measure the length of our wave 1, like this. We'll measure this, and we'll project it from the top of the 4, like that. And this will give targets, let's clear a few of them because we need to break below the previous low. And this gives these targets, I'll just draw the box, as potential lows. And then there's one more way you can do it, where instead of doing it like that, you can actually, this is usually, if you do it like, there isn't necessarily one is more accurate than the other. It's good to have both subsets of them up so that, because when you're a trader or you're accumulating or whatever, you're looking for acceptances at big price pivots. And so drawing the Fibonacci levels will give you the pivots, but it's learning how to read them and interpret the reaction, in which is when you make your trades. And so another way to draw this is we can project the waves 1, 2, 3, put it up to the top of 4, and lo and behold, there's another one down there at 19.7, which is another big level that I have marked. So very possible, very possible. But I will say, 22 I think is most likely. Just that's been the target the whole time, and I really don't see a reason why that won't be turned. Zooming out again, my whole view of this being invalidated is, I think, 18.88 would kill this whole thesis. I need to zoom in a little bit more. Would kill all of this, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. It would just mean that it's like we're kind of restarting this. I don't know how to explain it for it to make sense, but it would technically just be something like this instead before it breaks. So it could always be expanding. That's an idea, but based off of how it's gone thus far, I'm inclined to stick with my gut here. It hasn't let me down so far. And I don't know, it's kind of funny that it happened the way it did, because everyone that was calling me crazy, saying that we're bullish, is now like, oh, maybe I should listen to this guy. So I do hope you're taking what I'm saying seriously. I do this out of the goodness of my heart. I want you guys to have an idea, not that I'm like the end all be all to what's going on, but I like to think I have a pretty good idea. And I've devoted years to mastering this craft, and I think that I'm in a position where I can share what I'm seeing in an unbiased manner, where I'm giving you all the possibilities that I see. And what I see now is what you see on screen here. There is always a bullish possibility, mind you, which would go a little bit like this and be slightly different. But the key takeaway is that we would need to break the high that was set today, where instead of a big correction, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is such a stretch, though. I really don't like this. But even if that does happen, right, and this is one, you're still buying the pullback before it really breaks to the upside, right? So it's either or, but it's very hard to see the bullish interpretation. I think what we see on screen here is a very accurate representation of what's likely to ensue. So Really quickly, I guess I can cover SPY as well, because that's a big part of this thesis too. You know, as what's happening now, maybe, you know, it can go a little bit different than this, and we've been tracking this on the way up as well, and, you know, we've been doing a great job with this too. I don't post my SPY charts and all of my other charts on Twitter. You gotta be in Discord for that, because like, they're good, they're really, really good, and we've been finding lots of success trading this up and, you know, having an idea of where the trend is gonna go. But more or less, this is what we're looking at into the FOMC tomorrow. And so, because I think we are about to turn down pretty hard, I think it's logical that us targeting new lows before, you know, really squeezing is what's gonna happen. So with that being said, I hope you guys found some of this information useful. Hopefully most of it, if not all of it, but it is a lot to take in. I know it is, it's very confusing. Once again, if you are interested in trading with us, shoot me a message on Twitter. I'll get you guys set up with your discount code, and we'll catch you in the next one, whenever that is. Probably at 22, but yeah.